worry, Professor. I was an accident, too. Your dad is funny.
Where are the Buffalo Gales?
Where the fuck are we? Beats the crap out of me!
Pardon me, hot, sexy mama. If you'd please to take a look at my studly bod, then I'm...
Cartoon Network made its name with fun characters and wild comedy, but there was something else hidden underneath, a secret. While kids laughed, parents caught the jokes with double meanings and subtle winks that weren't meant for them. The network kept going, and the internet found it all. From banned episodes to hidden punchlines, Cartoon Network became great at sneaking in adult humor. Some jokes pushed boundaries, others changed TV completely. This is the story of the adult jokes that surprised censors and made cartoons unforgettable. Let's start with the one that went too far and made the Cartoon Network rethink everything. Cow and Chicken, 1998. For pure chaos, Cow and Chicken is hard to beat. The show was loud, weird, and full of fast-paced jokes, but one episode went beyond testing the line. It crossed it. The episode Buffalo Gals introduced a biker gang of women who smash through the wall and chew carpet. To a 9-year-old, it seemed like random cartoon logic, but adults instantly caught the innuendo. The moment wasn't just a joke, it was a bold wink. Cartoon Network reacted fast, airing it once and pulling it from reruns. For years, fans debated whether they'd imagined it, but the internet brought it back, and Buffalo Gals became infamous for crossing the line. The key takeaway: Buffalo Gals convinced Cartoon Network that overt innuendo would not fly. From then on, jokes got smarter, shorter, and subtler. The game changed. Dexter's Laboratory, 1997, released 2013. Dexter's Laboratory was known for teaching kids fun words like omelette du fromage and deoxyribonucleic acid, blending education with comedy. But one episode showed just how sharp the writers could be, and it never aired. The episode Rude Removal featured Dexter trying to remove Dee Dee's rudeness with a machine. Of course, it malfunctions and splits them into rude versions, who immediately start dropping bleeps like they're in an R-rated comedy. The censors immediately hit the brakes, and the episode was never shown. It became a myth, with fans debating its existence for 16 years. Then, in 2013, Adult Swim quietly posted it online. No fanfare, just a simple upload, revealing what fans had always suspected: Dexter's Lab had a hidden edge. Today, it still holds up. Not mean or cruel, just sharp and funny.
Rude removal procedure completed.
Bravo, Dexter! Your rude removal system is a smashing success!
Quite. Like I said before, it takes the rudeness of a person, removes it, and then contains it.
What got it banned wasn't the content, but the honesty, how funny swearing can be when you're not supposed to. The censors weren't laughing, but the internet sure did. Dexter's Laboratory, 1996. Dexter's Laboratory wasn't done pushing boundaries. The short Barbacore introduced the Silver Spooner, a flamboyant parody of Marvel's Silver Surfer, but some viewers saw it as a stereotype. Cartoon Network quietly pulled it from rotation without any announcement, but fans noticed and started looking for it. The episode lived on in uploads, showing how even smart shows for kids can misfire when they push too far with a joke. 2 removals from one show. Dexter's Lab showed CN where the line was, and from then on, creators learned to sneak in adult humor rather than shoving it in. The Powerpuff Girls, 1998. The Powerpuff Girls may have looked all bright and sugary, but the writers were masters of quick, layered jokes. In Super Friends, Bubbles innocently says, "He made us in his laboratory, by accident," to which Robin responds, "Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident too." Kids let it slide, but parents felt the awkward pause before quietly laughing.
Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident, too. Your dad is funny.
This moment summed up Cartoon Network's approach. Keep it clean, keep it quick, and sneak in that second punchline for the adults. It's not just a joke, it's a mission statement. The best CN humor doesn't scream adult, it whispers, "This one's for you too." Johnny Bravo, 1997 to 2004. Johnny Bravo was Cartoon Network's icon of bad behavior. The show tested how far innuendo could go before anyone blinked. Johnny, thinking he was the smoothest guy around, only proved the opposite with every line. A mix of arrogance and cluelessness made the show a hidden satire. Johnny's famous lines like, "Let's get kinky," always led to him getting embarrassed or hurt. Kids laughed at the chaos, but adults saw the show pointing out how wrong toxic flirting can be. The writers weren't praising Johnny's behavior, they were showing how silly it was, with his constant rejections being the punchline. What made the show great was how fast they delivered these risky jokes, hidden in crazy moments. Censors didn't catch them in time. and kids saw the funny bits, while adults understood the deeper message. Fans still love to highlight Johnny's inappropriate moments, but what they're really admiring is how well the show was written. It wasn't by accident, it was all planned for laughs.
Pardon me, hot, sexy mama. If you'd please to take a look at my studly bod, then I may have the pleasure of you wanting to be my #1 main squeeze.
Regular show, 2010 to 2017. By the 2000s, Cartoon Network wasn't just making shows for kids anymore. It was making shows for everyone who used to be kids. That shift came to life in one of the network's strangest, smartest comedies, Regular Show. The premise is simple on paper. A blue jay and a raccoon work as groundskeepers in a city park. But beneath the simplicity lies one of the most honest portrayals of young adulthood ever aired on Cartoon Network. Jobs that go nowhere. Bosses who yell. Nights that end with junk food and regret. Every episode was absurd, but it was also a mirror. Then came the line that changed everything. Technically, Benson is a gumball machine. But no one who heard that line thought about candy.
The Parkside Lux. This ballroom used to host the most elegant balls in its day.
Whoa. Were they big?
Oh, they were huge! Ow!
It's the kind of joke that flies right over a child's head, but makes every adult freeze, grin, and think, did they really just say that? That's what made Regular Show brilliant. It didn't chase controversy. It disguised it as chaos. Every episode danced between slapstick and subtlety, and the writers knew exactly how to get away with it. The moment the line drops, the story moves. There's no pause, no punch-in, no wink at the camera, just pacing so fast that censors never had time to notice. Behind the humor was creator J.G. Quintel's real-life frustration with growing up. The awkward transition from teenager to employee, from freedom to responsibility. The innuendo wasn't there for shock value. It represented what adulthood actually feels like, a world full of double meanings and weird rules you learn by accident. Regular Show became the first Cartoon Network series to speak fluently to both audiences at once. Kids who loved the surreal adventures, and adults who saw their 20s reflected in every mistake Mordecai and Rigby made. It wasn't a show about gumballs or parks or raccoons. It was about burnout, temptation, and the funny side of trying to hold your life together. Benson's gonna drop his balls wasn't just an adult joke, it was a symbol, a line so perfectly hidden in chaos that it became a code for Cartoon Network's new identity. Clever enough for adults, safe enough for kids, and too fast for censors to catch. Adventure Time, 2010 to 2018. Adventure Time is a show that's fun, full of quirky characters, and always full of surprises. But it also has sneaky adult jokes hidden throughout. These jokes usually go unnoticed by younger viewers, but add an extra layer of humor for adults. Let's check out some of the best adult moments Adventure Time tried to sneak past us. Trust me, you'll be surprised by what you missed. Let's start with Marceline the Vampire Queen. In the episode What Was Missing, Finn accidentally walks in on Marceline while she's completely naked. Yep, he stumbles into her bathroom, and she's just floating there, naked. Finn, being the awkward guy he is, totally freaks out. You can see how embarrassed he is as he tries not to look at her, mumbling something about waiting until the coast is clear. This moment is subtle, but it says a lot about Finn's innocence and how the show sneaks in these awkward adult jokes. Picture this, a kid's show where a character accidentally walks in on a vampire queen just chilling, naked. It's not just a quick glance either. Finn's genuine embarrassment and hesitation make the whole thing even funnier. Anyone who's ever had that awkward moment of walking in on someone at the wrong time can totally relate. Speaking of adult humor, let's talk about Lumpy Space Princess, LSP. In the episode The Creeps, LSP has a conversation with her boyfriend Brad that's full of innuendo. She says Brad told her she wasn't ready for him, but LSP has no idea what that means.
I'm ready for you now, Brad. Isn't it obvious? I'm so ready.
This is a perfect setup for an adult joke that's just implied enough to get a laugh, but still innocent enough on the surface. But wait, the joke doesn't end there. Lumpy Space Princess, who's been very clear that she doesn't understand what ready means, suddenly becomes ready herself, and I mean ready in a very adult way. How does this happen? Well, Lady Rainicorn, who loves causing trouble, absorbs people into her body. Yeah, it sounds strange, right? When LSP comes out, she's suddenly all ready. This whole sequence plays on the adult idea of getting ready for something. And you probably know what that means. It's one of those jokes that only adults really get, but goes right over the heads of younger viewers. Next, let's talk about the dating tiers, explained by Jake the dog. In one episode, Jake takes the chance to teach Finn about the complicated levels of dating. The scale starts with simple things like hugging and kissing, but then it gets to something a lot more intimate. This is where the adult humor comes in. As Jake explains, he casually mentions tier 15. Sounds innocent enough, right? But when Finn asks about it, Jake quickly reacts with a loud, urgent, "Do not do tier 15." What's Tier 15? That's the big question. But Jake's reaction, along with the fact that Finn has no clue, hints that this is something way more adult. The message is clear. It's not just about kissing or holding hands. No, Tier 15 goes beyond that. Let's just say it involves a lot more exploration, and the fact that it's considered off-limits is funny, but also a little suspicious. This joke works so well because it plays with your imagination, all while keeping up the innocent vibe of a kid's show. Now let's talk about the Ice King. He's one of the more eccentric and problematic characters on Adventure Time. His obsession with princesses takes a darker turn when he starts capturing them and tying them up to force them into marriage. In the episode, I Remember You, the Ice King accidentally falls into some musical equipment chords and ends up tying himself up. At first, it seems like a harmless mishap, but when you think about it, he's clearly okay with it. The whole getting tied up moment hints at some much more adult interests, and the fact that Ice King doesn't even try to escape, well, it's safe to say he's enjoying it a little too much. This moment adds another layer of adult humor that younger viewers would totally miss. It's a little strange, a bit creepy, but in true Adventure Time style, it's also hilarious. The show has a great way of balancing dark humor with its quirky, absurd moments, and this scene is a perfect example of that. And who could forget Bounce House Princess? Yep, you heard that right. In The Real You, Finn stumbles upon what looks like a huge bounce house, only to realize it's actually a princess, a bounce house princess, to be exact. While the idea itself is funny, the adult joke comes when she invites Finn in, saying, "Come on in, let's bounce around for a little." Of course, Finn gets embarrassed and quickly turns her down because he knows exactly what she's suggesting. The moment is so obvious, it almost feels like a wink from the show to the adult audience. An adult might catch the double meaning, while a kid just sees a strange, well, princess with flaps. Adventure Time knows how to walk that fine line, delivering humor for adults without crossing into anything inappropriate for kids. So there you have it. Adventure Time is full of adult humor, cleverly hidden behind its colorful world and wild adventures. From awkward naked moments to subtle adult jokes and even the creepy quirks of Ice King, the show keeps older viewers laughing while making sure it's still kid-friendly for younger audiences. Who would have thought a cartoon about a boy and his dog could have so many layers of humor? But Adventure Time isn't the only show with sneaky adult moments. As we move on to another fan favorite, you'll see that even the most innocent-looking characters have their own strange grown-up secrets. Total Drama Island, 2007. Total Drama might look like a fun, goofy show for kids, but hidden beneath all the craziness are some hilarious adult jokes. These jokes slip past younger viewers, but adults can't help but notice them. Today, we're going to look at 5 of the sneakiest adult jokes from Total Drama. You'll be surprised at what flew under the radar. Let's start with Chris and Lindsay in Total Drama Island, 2007. In one scene, Chris says, "Not too shabby," to Lindsay. It seems like a simple comment, but the way Chris says it with a flirty tone makes it clear he's not just talking about Lindsay's looks. The way he delivers the line with a little smirk makes it a classic adult joke. It's one of those jokes that's funny because it's subtle. Kids might not catch it, but adults definitely will. The line is casual, but there's a suggestive twist that makes it way more than just a compliment. In one episode, Heather's shirt gets ripped off during a challenge, leaving her embarrassed and scrambling to cover up. The awkwardness of the moment adds a touch of adult humor, playing on the chaos and discomfort, while the kids around her remain clueless. Next up, we have Harold in Total Drama Action, 2009. After getting hurt, he says, "I think you broke my coccyx." The word coccyx is meant to refer to his tailbone, but we all know the writers used it as a sneaky joke. It sounds just enough like the other word for it to be funny, especially to adults. This is a classic example of how Total Drama hides adult humor behind seemingly innocent words. Kids probably hear coccyx and don't think twice, but adults are rolling their eyes and laughing because it's a clever double meaning. Let's move on to Duncan and Courtney's flirtation in Total Drama Island, 2007. At one point, Courtney says, "Play dirtier," and Duncan responds, "I like when you talk like that." This is pure innuendo, the kind of joke that makes you pause and think, did they really just say that on a kid's show? It's a flirty moment that seems innocent at first, but once you realize what they're implying, it becomes an adult joke. It's just one of those sneaky lines that makes you wonder how they slipped that past the censors. Now let's talk about Cody in Total Drama Action, 2009. Cody tries to make a deal saying, "If I got your bra, I'd do all my dishes for the rest of the competition." Sure, it sounds innocent enough, but come on, Cody's totally offering to do dishes in exchange for a piece of clothing. The suggestion here is pretty clear. This is one of those adult jokes that kids might not get, but adults will definitely pick up on. Cody is offering something that goes beyond just doing dishes. It's a flirtatious joke wrapped up in a competition, and that's what makes it hilarious for the older crowd. Finally, let's talk about Cody again in Total Drama Island, 2007. There's this super awkward moment when Cody gets way too close to another character and says, "You just smell really pretty." Then when the character looks at him, Cody quickly adds, "It's just soap." The way Cody delivers this line makes it all the more awkward. This is one of those cringe-worthy adult jokes. It's awkward for Cody, but it's hilarious for anyone who catches the underlying humor. It's one of those moments where you feel secondhand embarrassment because, let's be real, Cody is definitely trying to flirt in a weird, awkward way. And there you have it. Total Drama is full of sneaky adult jokes, hidden in plain sight for the older audience to enjoy. Whether it's flirty moments, double entendres, or just plain awkwardness, the show does a great job of keeping things fun for adults while staying PG for kids. But Total Drama isn't the only show that hides these clever adult moments. The Amazing World of Gumball, 2011 to 2019. The Amazing World of Gumball is a fun show with silly characters and crazy adventures. But sometimes it sneaks in jokes that only adults would catch. Today, we're looking at one of the wildest moments in the show that might have flown right over younger viewers' heads. In one episode, Gumball walks in on Banana Joe watching fruit porn. Yes, you heard that right. Banana Joe is caught in the act, and Gumball has the best reaction. He's totally shocked. This is one of those sneaky adult jokes where Banana Joe is watching something inappropriate, but the twist is that it's about fruit. The joke is funny because it's hidden in plain sight, and only adults will get the real meaning, while kids won't even notice. Before we go deeper, let's take a quick look at some other funny and awkward moments from the Amazing World of Gumball. Watch how Gumball reacts to all sorts of strange situations, like Banana Joe's secret, and other hilarious bits that show there's more to the show than just kids' humor. So there you have it. The Amazing World of Gumball hides these adult moments behind its colorful world and crazy adventures. From Banana Joe's secret to other hidden jokes, the show keeps adults entertained while still being safe for kids. Ed, Edd and Eddy, 1999 to 2009. Ed, Edd and Eddy is a show that's full of fun, slapstick humor, and wacky adventures. But if you look closely, you'll find that the show also sneaks in some hilarious adult jokes. These moments often fly right over the heads of younger viewers, but they give adults a reason to laugh. Let's dive into some of the best adult jokes from Ed, Edd and Eddy you probably missed. First up, we've got Ed, the smart one of the group. In one episode, Ed talks about his astronomical instrument, the sextant. Now, this is a perfectly normal term for a tool used in navigation, but Ed and Eddy find it hilarious. They can't stop laughing every time Ed says it, asking him to repeat it over and over. It's a classic example of Ed and Eddy playing with words. For adults, the word sextant might sound just a bit too close to another, much funnier word, making the joke extra hilarious. Kids may not get it, but for anyone who's heard the word sextant before, it's a perfect example of a sneaky adult joke in a kid's show. Now let's talk about winter in Ed and Eddy. In one episode, it's snowy outside, and Eddy says, "What's winter without a snow job?" At first, it might sound innocent just talking about snow, but there's an adult twist to snow job, and it's definitely not about shoveling snow. A snow job is often used as slang for something, well, a little dirty, and Eddy delivers it so casually that only adults will get the real meaning. This moment is a perfect example of how Ed and Eddy hides adult jokes in plain sight while keeping it clean for the kids watching. Lastly, let's talk about a moment with Ed flipping through a magazine titled Chicks Galore. When the guys see it, they get all excited until they realize that it's not the type of chicks they were hoping for. The title Chicks Galore might sound like it's referring to women, but it's actually about something completely different. This is a play on the word chicks, a fun adult joke about expectations versus reality. Kids will probably just see the magazine title and think it's funny, but for adults, it's a clever wink to a more grown-up sense of humor. So there you have it. Ed and Eddy might look like a silly show on the surface, but it's full of hidden adult jokes that keep things interesting for older viewers. From the sextant mishap to the snow job joke and the chick mix-up, the show knows how to sneak in humor that flies over kids' heads but makes adults laugh. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, 2001 to 2007. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is one of those shows that may seem harmless on the surface, but underneath all the wacky adventures and dark humor, it's filled with sly adult jokes that only older viewers will truly appreciate. Let's dive into some of the most outrageous moments that slipped past the radar. In one episode, Grim tries to prove he didn't fart by exposing himself to a group of kids and repeatedly telling them to look at my body. Naturally, a cop sees this and arrests him for being a flasher. While it's played for laughs, the joke is based on the adult theme of flashing. It's unexpected, hilarious, and definitely an adult joke hiding in a kid's cartoon. This moment is surprisingly bold for a kid's show, turning a simple fart joke into something much more adult and unexpected. It's not only funny because of the ridiculousness of the situation, but also because it sneaks in an adult concept without drawing too much attention. One of the most daring references comes in the episode The Show That Dare Not Speak Its Name. Billy opens a puzzle box, summoning a pinhead creature. This is a direct nod to the Hellraiser franchise, known for its intense violence and dark themes. The episode isn't nearly as violent as the movie, but the mere reference to Hellraiser in a kid's cartoon is an adult joke in itself. It's a bold choice to reference such an iconic horror movie in a kid's show, making it one of those sneaky adult moments. Only adults familiar with Hellraiser will get the full effect of this reference, while younger viewers may just think it's a creepy yet harmless character. In the episode Dracula Must Die, we learn that Owen's mother is an ancient Egyptian mummy and his father is a vampire. This raises some serious questions about how these two characters could have had a child. The writers hint at this relationship in a very cheeky way, giving viewers the impression of an adult topic, but it's never explicitly explained. The fact that the show plays around with the mystery of how they conceived a child is a pretty adult concept hidden within the humor. It's one of those moments where the show's writers drop a cheeky grown-up joke and kids have no idea what they just heard. Before we continue, let's quickly look at more hilarious and strange moments from the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy. These quirky scenes keep us laughing, but they also hint at the hidden adult humor that sneaks into every episode. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is a masterclass in mixing dark humor with absurdity, making it perfect for both kids and adults. From Grimm's unexpected flash to the Hellraiser reference,
I'm ready for the apple! Aries, I'm ready! Ready to help you use the apple! Aries?
Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
Aries, it's me, Billy! I'm ready for chaos!
Chaos! Where?
Yeah, tornadoes, floods, baby leprechauns, you know. Come on, I don't have all day.
the show knows how to hide adult jokes in plain sight, all while staying entertaining for younger audiences. Cartoon Network's genius lies in its ability to entertain both kids and adults. With quick pacing, clever metaphors, and a trust in its audience, the network created shows like Regular Show and Adventure Time. Building on classics like Dexter and Johnny Bravo, the internet kept these jokes alive as fans shared moments and creators wrote for future rewatchers. Why did these jokes last? Because they were crafted to grow with the audience, clever, layered, and timeless. Cartoon Network didn't just entertain, it planted jokes that bloomed later, staying with us as we grew up.